tonight, a push to get vaccinated. As the school year nears, experts say getting kids a shot is top priority. Plus, the pandemic eviction moratorium is ending, leaving some folks in Wisconsin concerned about making rent. And later, a championship of lumberjacks is underway in Wisconsin, and there's a local participant who's hoping for a big win.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke. Thanks for joining us. As the Delta variant continues to cause a rise in COVID cases, counties in Minnesota are racing to herd immunity by reaching a 70% vaccination rate. State health leaders say that goal is especially important as school is right around the corner. Here's a look at Itasca County's latest vaccination rates for children between 12 and 17. 56% of that population has had at least one dose. In all, that's about 900 teens. But county health leaders say they need those numbers to rise for any hope of combating the Delta variant in the classroom this fall. CBS3's Abigail Smith checked in with Itasca County leaders about what they're doing to encourage more vaccinations in that age group.
Yeah, so Kristen, even though they're approaching 60%, Itasca County has one of the lower vaccination rates among those 12 and older than its neighbors. As school is approaching, many health leaders are advocating for more children to get vaccinated before returning. Itasca County Public Health Manager Kelly Chandler said they are working with clinics to bring more vaccine opportunities to students this fall. She says the classroom could be a hot spot for transmission this fall, especially for the Delta variant.
From our perspective, we do hope that more youth and their parents and adults consider the vaccination to get that protection before they're in classrooms that allow less opportunity for the social distancing.
She adds that fall and winter months are the most concerning for transmission rates as everyone gathers indoors more. So protecting yourself before those months is imperative. Itasca County saw 15 new COVID cases in the past 2 weeks. County leaders say 99% of those new cases were in people who are unvaccinated.
Certainly hard to believe the school year is as near as it is, but as we heard, it takes quite a few weeks to get fully vaccinated after that first shot. So we'll continue to keep our eye on this. Thank you, Abigail. Well, statewide, Minnesota health leaders have launched the Vax to School campaign, hoping to encourage students and families to get fully vaccinated by the beginning of the school year. Over the next month, the campaign will highlight voices from educators, pediatricians, and parents. They will stress the safety, efficiency, and critical need to get students vaccinated against this deadly virus.
The time is now to really increase our rates of vaccination to make sure that we can protect in-person learning and protect our students and our staff who are in these facilities.
Minnesotans 12 and older are eligible to receive the 2-dose Pfizer vaccine. It takes 5 weeks to go from the first dose to fully vaccinated. As of today, only 1/3 of kids 12 to 15 years old are fully vaccinated, and less than half of teens 16 and 17. In Wisconsin, COVID case numbers are now 7 times higher than they were just a month ago. The state's health experts are blaming that on the more contagious Delta variant. There were almost 800 new COVID-19 cases reported yesterday, and just over 49% of the state is fully vaccinated. The state health department says since January, more than 98% of Wisconsin's positive COVID-19 cases have been in people who are not vaccinated. A Madeline Island church is going back to worshiping online as COVID cases in that area rise. St. John's United Church of Christ in La Pointe says that change will take effect this Sunday. Rachel Bauman, a pastor at the church, says the community has responded well to that decision.
I've already gotten messages back from folks saying, thank you for caring for us. This was the right decision. I'm so disappointed, but this is the right thing.
Since last week, Ashland County has reported 15 new cases, and the town of La Pointe has reported 5. La Pointe town leaders say they're encouraging people to follow proper COVID safety protocols, including wearing a mask indoors. St. John's board will review COVID numbers each week to determine their next move. The nationwide eviction moratorium is expiring this weekend. For people behind on rent and living in Wisconsin, that means you could be at risk for eviction. In Superior, Pam Benson with the Superior Housing Authority says out of their hundreds of tenants, only about 18 are behind on rent. They have provided many reminders and resources to those struggling to make payments. In the end, Benson says eviction is a last case scenario and they do not plan to evict anyone anytime soon.
Even if we evicted 9 people for non-payment of rent, that could really hit our program overall really hard too. And it wouldn't do our community any good. It wouldn't do our residents any good. It wouldn't do the programs any good.
According to the CDC, roughly 3.6 million people in the U.S. say they could face eviction in the next 2 months. In Minnesota, the eviction ban is being lifted in phases. Full protections for tenants are not set to end until June of next year. Well, Peter is here for a first check of the weather. Peter, much calmer day out there than what we were seeing yesterday.
Yeah, you know, fortunately also yesterday we had all the ingredients there, but all the severe weather didn't quite fire up for most of the Northland. And that's definitely the case today. We're definitely dry out there. Satellite radar shows that as well. Really not too much to talk about in terms of clouds either. Whole lot of haze out there, though, and high temperatures across the region for today. Right around average high for this time of year, 76 degrees. Most of us making it into the mid and upper 70s, 77 on top of the hill. 81 down by the lake with a little bit of a westerly wind with some compressional heating there. Also 81 close to the lake in Grand Marais, 75 in Ely as well as 75 in Orr, 77 in Ashland, and 72 degrees for Ironwood and the UP of Michigan there. Currently coming in to 77 degrees in Duluth with that north wind and in place at 9 miles per hour, and still definitely a little bit hazy out there with that wildfire smoke sitting overhead. Temperatures across the region, most of us are sitting into the low 70s. And your forecast for tonight, cooling back into the 40s as well as 50s. So definitely a cool night ahead of us. We've got some rather cool days ahead of us as well. I'll talk about it coming up in just a bit. Kristen?
Thanks, Peter. Well, we are taking a live look from Spirit Mountain, and as you can see, most of the Twin Ports is under a hazy sky, and most of Minnesota is under an air quality alert today. You could really see the thick haze caused by smoke from Canadian wildfires here in Duluth this morning. The MPCA issued the alert for nearly the entire state except the North Shore. It's expected to last until 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Well, following Monday night's strong storms, MnDOT is looking for a way to keep Duluth's tunnels from flooding. You can see there were several inches of water on the freeway around 8:30 Monday night. Just like in years past, the area on I-35 sees standing water due to pipes being backed up and not draining fast enough into Lake Superior. MnDOT's Duluth supervisor Mike Hedlund says while the pipes do work, they may need to be extended. That way, they can distribute the water farther out into the lake.
We have made improvements in the last few years to keep it from getting completely blocked. We're certainly working on trying to improve it and make it better and safer for everybody.
As of right now, there's no final solution on the table, but Hedlund believes a permanent fix may happen in a year or two. 3 days after a storm tore through Grand Rapids, about 150 homes there are still without power. We caught up with folks Tuesday as they were first starting to clean up from Monday night's mess. Grand Rapids Public Utilities spokespeople say they have about 15 crews out today, hoping to get the lights back on for everyone. Itasca County has some help available for anyone who needs it. You can pick up bottled water at the Itasca County Resource Building until 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. You can also take a shower at the Itasca County YMCA. Anyone needing other help can call 211. The director of the Duluth Superior Port talked about its importance during a briefing for lawmakers in Washington, D.C. today. Deb DeLuca took part in a panel discussion. It's part of an effort to inform lawmakers about infrastructure needs as they work on the massive funding bill. DeLuca says the port faces a variety of challenges, including gentrification of the working waterfront, dredging navigation channels, changing lake water levels, and building resiliency.
Especially in light of increasing frequency and intensity of storms, that affects not just our municipal infrastructure, waterfront infrastructure, but port infrastructure as well.
The nonprofit Sea Grant Association sponsored the briefing, working to educate lawmakers about the need for conserving marine, coastal, and Great Lakes resources. Still to come on Live Local CBS3, oil your beards and sharpen your axes. We'll take you to Hayward for the 61st Annual Lumberjack World Championships next.
And taking a look at today's almanac, today's high coming in at 76 degrees at Duluth International, just 2 degrees shy of average. We've got a little bit of a cool down heading into the weekend as well. I'll break it all down coming up in just a bit.
Hi folks, Joe Namath here with a new message about your Medicare benefits. You may be entitled to transportation, meals, and expanded coverage for dental work that includes extractions, fillings, and dentures, all at no additional cost. Plus, depending on your zip code, you may be entitled to the Medicare benefit that adds money to your Social Security check every single month. Call and get everything you deserve. Call now. It's free.
I'm on a fixed income, so I called to get money added to my Social Security check. They helped me so much.
I called to save money on co-pays, get prescriptions, transportation, and my dental work covered. I couldn't believe I was spending money I don't have to spend.
Millions of people have trusted the Medicare Coverage Helpline, and you can too. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-916-5591. That's 1-800-916-5591 now.
At Super One Foods, we go to great measures to deliver you with top quality meat every day. Try our Smithfield boneless pork country style ribs for only $2.49 a pound and get chicken drumsticks for just 88 cents a pound. Plus, we provide the best of the best in fresh produce. Get locally grown sweet corn for just 33 cents each and extra large red, yellow, or orange peppers for just 99 cents. Through all that we do, we've got you in mind. Super One Foods, serving you lower prices and better choices.
Yay! Here you go, sweetheart.
It's your first savings account.
A savings account? Imagine the possibilities.
Oh, no.
But I really wanted a basketball.
You may dribble me.
Imagining a bright future? Let's see how we can help. National Bank of Commerce. We make more possible.
If you have been financially affected by the COVID pandemic, then this message is for you. Are you among the many folks who have lost their jobs, or if you've been furloughed, or working from home at a reduced pay? If you have credit card debt and cannot make your monthly payments, we at Debt Fix Pros can help. Call us to see how we can reduce your interest rates and lower your monthly payments. If you are struggling with credit card debt, we can help. Call 1-800-804-9036 now to get out of debt.
Let's get things started. We're out in the sun, in the sun. I don't know what I did wrong. It's gonna be so rad. Our jaw's to rock. I'm trying to find the love of my life. Do your thing, baby. This is gonna be a great week.
CBS3 News is brought to you by Fond du Lac Casino.
And welcome back. Definitely a smoky, hazy day out there. Take a look at this. Earlier from coming into Duluth from the bridge from Superior, as you can see, this was sent in by our editor, actually, Amanda Ambrose. And just a whole lot of haze out there. You can barely make out the Duluth skyline. And this is a whole different perspective, slightly zoomed out as this is from space. But as you can see, you can make out the smoke from space as well. Where you see that thin, wispy white, that's all smoke. But off to the south towards Wisconsin as well as the UP, you can kind of see kind of more puffy in nature. That's where we saw some clouds today. And it's even hard to make out the Twin Ports down there. Just barely can see the head of the lake. So definitely a really smoky day. And here's how it shapes up through the rest of the, say, the next 48 hours. It looks like we're dealing with that smoke and haze overhead for a good portion of the day tomorrow as well. Maybe a tad less hazy, but we still got that air quality warning in place for a good portion of the Northland. As we head towards Saturday, you can see smoke and haze sticks around, I think, is a little bit less prevalent. And then the good news is we head towards Sunday, we really begin to clear things out nicely. Really don't see much in terms of smoke for us here in the Northland. So good news as we head towards Sunday. That's why we have the air quality warning in place until at least Friday at 3 o'clock. Would not be surprised if they extended that, say, towards Saturday evening even. So something we'll keep an eye on as we head through the next 48 hours. In terms of the weather forecast, though, it's a rather boring forecast at that. For tonight, partly cloudy skies overhead. As we head towards midnight, partly to mostly cloudy skies for a good portion of the Northland. Temperatures are also pretty cool. Since we head towards about 3, 4 a.m., we'll begin to see temperatures cool back into the 40s and 50s. So it would normally be a good night to open up those windows. Don't know that I would do it tonight just because we'll have all that smoke still out there. Don't want your room, whole house to smell like a campfire. As we head towards Friday, waking up with mostly sunny skies overhead, you'll notice that rain off to our north, just north of the international border. That will begin to slide its way south as we head towards Friday evening. So by about 5 o'clock, we begin to see some rain fire up, especially towards the international border. As we head towards midnight, we begin to see it progresses a little bit further south. And where you're seeing those yellows, oranges, reds, talking about some general thunderstorms there. It's not producing a whole heck of a lot of rain because it's really quite a fast mover. And then for today on Saturday, shaping up to be a pretty nice day. I don't think we're going to be seeing this rain like this model showing, just mostly sunny skies out there. And temperatures are a tad cooler in the lower 70s. So in terms of rainfall, it's not a whole lot of rain. Not going to put a dent in the drought by any means. A few 1/100ths of an inch, possibly up to a 1/4 of an inch towards the international border. But no rain for tonight. Temperatures fall back into the mid and upper 40s as well as lower 50s across the region. Your forecast for tomorrow climbing into the lower 80s with those mostly sunny skies overhead, but still definitely hazy. As far as the 7-day forecast shapes up, it's a rather boring 7-day forecast. Tomorrow we got that shot of a PM shower or thunderstorm. Then we clear things out nicely for the weekend, and that nice calm weather sticks around through portions of midweek. So nice stretch of weather ahead.
Yeah, when it comes to weather, boring is never a bad thing. Thanks, Peter. After the pandemic took a swing of the axe to a Hayward favorite, the 61st Annual Lumberjack World Championships is back in town this weekend. It features athletes from all around the world. CBS3's Quinn Gorham shares the unique story of one of them who's competing in his own backyard.
Ready. Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
After a year off, the Lumberjack World Championship is back in Hayward, and people couldn't be more excited.
Coming back after, just having the opportunity to be here is really beautiful for the whole area. Town is busy and packed, and what more could we ask for?
The competition features events like wood chopping, climbing, and sawing. But the competitors aren't the only ones who can have a good time. The Lumberjack World Championships has something for everybody, from food to shops to even log rolling. Okay. All righty.
There you go. Step. That's right. Step. Ice here. Arms up. Nice jump. Keep going. That was awesome.
But when it comes to the professionals like Hayward native Darby Hand, they've been putting in years of work to make it up on the stage.
This is the event I've been watching for my whole life. This is what I've always wanted to do, be on this stage, chopping, competing with these guys, and it's hard to put it into words, really.
Hand grew up in Hayward and started log rolling when he was just 4 years old.
So when I was about 15 years old, I started doing shows across the pond here for Fred Shear, and that really got me going. I started chopping, climbing, doing all the rest of the stuff.
Since then, Hand recently competed in a national competition, qualifying to represent the U.S. at the World Championships in Sweden next year. But until then, Hand has the whole town in the stands rooting for him this weekend.
I got friends and family all over that came to watch me today. All my family is coming. They're hooting and hollering in the audience, and I can feel them when I'm out on stage.
His parents tell us Darby is also working toward a degree in forest management at a school in North Carolina. If you want to catch him compete, the show runs through Saturday with the finals on Saturday night. And organizers tell us the competition usually draws up to 4,000 fans each night. Well, Alexis Bass is here with what's next in sports, but I think Quinn might have a future in log rolling.
I think they should also add that to the Olympics. I don't know about you, that could be really entertaining.
I think it could.
But on the topic of the Olympics, a gold medal moment written in the history books for Team USA, and The heat to the hockey rinks. Some local hockey players are cooling things down, but fine-tuning their skills thanks to a few professionals. I will reel in sports next.
Order your 2021 Polaris side-by-side now from Duluth Lawn and Sports.
CBS3 Live Cams, brought to you by KohlerChef.com, now featuring the Kohler Express Deal online buying solution. KohlerChef.com, a better way to buy.
Happy birthday! Duluth Casino wants to celebrate your birthday with you all month long. Every day during your birthday month, you can receive up to $30 in club cash as a special birthday bonus.
Did you say every day?
Yes, every day of your birthday month. Stop by the Players Club or log on to FondDuluthCasino.com for all the participation details. We're celebrating your birthday all month long, so you can
have a great time out at Fond du Loup.
What's so extreme about the DQ Reese's Extreme Blizzard? How about all the Reese's you could dream of, with classic creamy Reese's peanut butter cups and crunchy Reese's Pieces? Plus, you guessed it, peanut butter topping and chocolatey topping. All blended in world-famous DQ soft serve, for a treat that takes your favorite combo to a whole new level. Wow, what a rush. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Today on Medical Insight, we'll look at Essentia Health's home monitoring program, which tracks patients' well-being remotely through technology on a tablet with an oximeter, blood pressure cuff, and thermometer.
Home monitoring is the technology that allows us to be able to monitor a patient in their home, outside of the clinic, outside of the hospital, allows providers and the care teams to be able to identify how patients are doing even when they're not in sight. So it doesn't require the patient to be continuously hooked up on a monitor. It doesn't require a lot of time. The results are taken quickly and able to be reported back to the care teams.
We will have RNs and LPNs that will be monitoring the dashboard 24 hours a day and reaching out anytime a vital comes in that's out of range or a questionnaire is out of range and the patient needs help.
People who are eligible include those with COVID-19, as well as select conditions like cancer or heart failure. The goal is intervention.
We don't want to practice medicine waiting for the 11th hour crisis to happen, because that entails a lot of suffering on the part of the patient and the family, and a lot of anxiety and worry. If we can go upstream and try to detect signs or symptoms of a worsening condition, we can make an intervention in real time and try to make a change in that person's life. We feel that people living with chronic illnesses will live longer and they will live a higher quality of life.
Other advantages of home monitoring include reducing hospital visits and getting patients home sooner, lowering healthcare costs, and reducing unnecessary travel. For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
To learn more about this and other health topics, visit essentiahealth.org/medical insight.
CBS News Sunday Morning with Jane Pauley on CBS.
There's no better place to beat the heat than to head to a hockey rink. And young hockey players had the chance to learn from the pros this week over in Superior. The Twin Ports Pro Development Camp is in its 6th year as a camp led by Superior alum Brett Olson, who spent last season playing professional hockey in Europe. He was joined by a few former Bulldogs to help coach the group of Pee-wees up to Batnum at Superior Hockey Arena. That group included Duluth East alum Andy Walensky, who comes back year after year to the Northland to coach this camp.
Brett Olson does a great job of getting us a group together of staff that, all good people and all have expertise from different parts of the game. Community-wise, I love it, and then especially being able to give back a little bit and hopefully teach young hockey players a thing or two.
We'll have more from Superior tonight at 10. And tonight is the night for hopeful NBA players, a moment they have waited all their lives for and a dream they have dreamt up for quite some time. Hearing their name get called in the NBA draft. After one of the worst seasons in franchise history, the Detroit Pistons have something to celebrate. They hold the #1 overall pick, likely taking Oklahoma guard Cade Cunningham. As for our hometown teams, Minnesota Timberwolves have 0 picks, but may look to make a move elsewhere. And for the newly crowned champions, the Milwaukee Bucks, they have the 31st pick. The draft will take place tonight at 7 in person, hosted at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, a place the Milwaukee Bucks are familiar with, beating the Nets to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Timberwolves did make a trade today, though. They're sending Ricky Rubio to the Cavs in exchange for Taurean Prince, a 2022 draft pick, and cash. The deal saves them about $5 million against the salary cap and could be the catalyst for other moves to come. An 18-year-old from Minnesota stepped up, accomplishing what no one expected through the unexpected last 3 days of competition at the Olympics. It was Suni Lee who earned herself a gold medal in the women's all-around gymnastics competition. Lee's journey to the podium has been nothing but shy of rainbows and roses. However, on her difficult road to gold, her performance was highlighted by the most difficult and astonishing uneven bars routine in the world. In her first comments at a news conference, Lee was full of gratitude, thanking her supporters, coaches, and family. She said the last 2 years have been strange with COVID, injuries, and other concerns which put her on the brink of leaving the sport. But thank goodness she didn't. She also said she received advice from Simone Biles, Michaela Skinner, and her family, who were instrumental in helping her through the heightened pressure, especially after Biles' departure from 2 events.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for supporting me. I wouldn't be here without my coaches and my parents. This is such a surreal moment, and I just feel like I could have never been here ever. Like, it doesn't even feel like real life.
So far, the women for Team USA have taken home a silver in the team final, and a gold in the all-around individual events are next. Simone Biles' status in competing in that event remains up in the air. I mean, so far, it is a team sport. I know they have the individual event coming up, but they have just shown out and worthy of gold medal performances.
Yeah, through many trials and tribulations, they've pulled through.
Yes, and that's what the Olympics is all about.
It's been fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Alexis. Well, it's time for Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego to pay up. She made a friendly wager with Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett over the outcome of the NBA Finals. Well, the Bucks defeated the Phoenix Suns in 6 games for their first title in 50 years. So the Phoenix mayor sent a package of local goodies to Barrett, which he tweeted about on Thursday and publicly thanked her. Barrett says he will be sending Gallego a Bucks jersey that she will wear at a Phoenix City Council meeting. The Bucks finished off the Suns 4 games 2-2. Well, if that doesn't make the front page, I'm not sure what will.
I don't know either. I can't blame her wanting to rep the jersey. So.
I love it. That's hilarious.
Love
that. Peter, pretty calm out there today.
Yeah, you know, the only thing that we're dealing with is some haze, but as we head through, say, towards Sunday, haze begins to burn off, and then we're left with a pretty nice stretch of weather ahead. As you can see, we really calm things down for the weekend. Stray shot of a shower come for the day on Friday, especially Friday evening and Friday night. We clear things out for the weekend. Weekend looks to be pretty nice with temperatures in the mid and upper 70s, and then we start off next week with rather calm as well, with mostly sunny skies overhead and temperatures in the 70s and 80s.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 10.